Welcome to this introductory guide on tourism in Japan. Let's get started with some basic information. Japan is located in the Northwest Pacific Ocean, east of China and Korea, and north of Taiwan and Southeast Asia. It's an archipelago consisting of 4 main islands, being north to south, Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu, followed by a string of small islands which make up Okinawa. Because the country extends north to south, there is a lot of variation in the climate. Up in the north, Hokkaido is at a similar latitude to the northernmost part of China or the southern tip of Russia. Snowfall is heavier and the air is drier compared to the rest of the country. The weather warms as you travel south and becomes subtropical by the time you reach Okinawa. Let's move on to a few quick facts about Japan. The primary language is, of course, Japanese, though a basic level of English does exist. Train announcements are made in English, and most signage in major cities is in multiple languages, making it relatively easy to get around. The Japanese unit of currency is the yen. Most Canadian tourists consider 1 yen to be the equivalent of 1 cent, making 1 Canadian dollar equivalent to approximately 100 yen. Japan remains largely a cash society, although credit cards are becoming more popular in department stores or tourist areas. Many smaller places do not accept credit cards, however, so it is still recommended to carry some cash. Japan follows Japan Standard Time, meaning that they do not practice daylight savings. So the time difference between Japan and Canada changes depending on the time of year. Japan is 13 or 14 hours ahead of Toronto or Montreal, and 16 or 17 hours ahead of Vancouver. Japan's voltage runs at 100 volts, compared to the 120 volts used in Canada. The plug is very similar, with 2 flat prongs, but no ground. Canada has short-term visa exemption status in Japan, meaning that a Canadian passport holder can stay in Japan for up to 90 days without a visa for tourism purposes. Your passport must be valid for the entire duration of the trip, and you must carry your passport with you at all times. And finally, there is no tipping in Japan. Tipping is not a common practice in Japan, so there's no need to tip in restaurants, taxis, or hotels. There are currently 5 airlines that fly directly from Canada to Japan: Air Canada, All Nippon Airways, Japan Airlines, WestJet, and Zip Air. Flights will land in one of 3 international airports: Narita or Haneda airports in Tokyo, or Kansai Airport in Osaka. The flight time from Toronto to Tokyo is about 13 to 14 hours, and from Vancouver to Tokyo, you're looking at about 9 hours. Japan is a land of convenience, with a multitude of options which make it easy to get around. The rail transportation network is convenient and very punctual. There are underground subways, light rail lines, and of course the Shinkansen bullet trains for long-distance travel. Buses, taxis, and car rentals are also convenient options. Storage space on the train is limited, even on the airport express trains, so many people use a luggage delivery service called Takyubin. You can arrange for your luggage to be sent ahead to your next destination from a counter at the airport or from the concierge desk of your hotel, and then travel comfortably without having to bring your suitcases through busy stations. There are a variety of options for accommodations in Japan, available at every price point. Aside from the usual assortment of Western hotel chains, there are also traditional Japanese inns called ryokan. These are where you'll find tatami mat flooring, futon bedding, communal baths, and beautifully presented multi-course meals. The inn usually provides a yukata robe and slippers, and it's common to wear them around the facility during your stay. If you're on a budget, business hotels are a practical and economical option. They're similar to a Western-style hotel, but more basic, since they mainly cater to business travelers. They can be found all across Japan and are usually close to a train station. Cherry blossoms are another iconic but short-lived attraction, which people come from all over to experience. Because the country stretches over different climates, the blooms start in the south and move their way north over the successive weeks. Overall, the season is from the end of March to the beginning of April, but a detailed cherry blossom forecast is available if you want more accurate dates. Now that we've got a general feel for the country, let's go into a more detailed look at some of the locations you could be visiting on your trip. The main corridor of tourism in Japan stretches from the Kanto region to the Kansai region, a so-called golden route spanning well-known cities like Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. We'll start in the Kanto region, home to some of the most well-known attractions in Japan. The metropolis of Tokyo and the port city of Yokohama are both in this region, along with Narita and Haneda international airports and Japan's Disney resorts, Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea. Most cruises depart from Yokohama, a vibrant, modern port city, and a great place to station yourself for day trips pre- or post-cruise. Yokohama is home to the largest Chinatown in Japan and has a great variety of cuisine and shopping. Families might also enjoy a trip to the Shin Yokohama Ramen Museum, where you can learn about ramen history, take a noodle-making class, and sample ramen from all over the country. Some nearby attractions include Kamakura, located very close to Yokohama. This is one of the former capitals of Japan and is full of shrines and temples. Its most famous landmark is an 11-meter-tall bronze Buddha statue, which is the second largest seated Buddha in the country. Hakone is a hot spring resort town, which is another easy day trip, although many people prefer to stay in a traditional inn and overnight there. It's a popular getaway destination for Tokyoites and has great views of Mount Fuji. Nikko is a nearby World Heritage Site. The shrines and temples of Nikko consist of 103 buildings spread out over 3 complexes. The most impressive of these is Toshogu Shrine, which is the mausoleum of Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Tokugawa shogunate. This brings us to the world-famous capital of Tokyo, a huge melting pot of everything modern and traditional all rolled into one. We'll just briefly touch on a few highlights to give you a sense of this truly unique city. Tokyo Station is in the Marunouchi district, and the area is a prime example of Tokyo's traditional and modern fusion. There are huge skyscrapers, fine dining, and shopping next to the moats and thick stone walls of the Imperial Palace and the Palace Gardens. Tours of the Imperial Palace are held on most days, and if you happen to be in Tokyo on January 2nd, the palace gates are opened for the Emperor's New Year's greeting. Asakusa is another great contrast of new and old. Sensoji Temple is one of the most popular attractions in Tokyo, characterized by the huge lantern at the entrance gate. There's a long walk up a series of shopping streets selling street food and souvenirs, all leading up to the temple itself and the iconic 5-tiered pagoda. Within view of the temple is the tallest structure in Japan, the Tokyo Skytree, which opened in 2012. It stands 634 meters high, has 2 public viewing decks, and a 110-meter-long glass floor. On the modern side of Tokyo, Ginza offers the best of fine dining and luxury brand shopping. Shinjuku is a mecca for shopping, eating, and entertainment with a bustling nightlife and the busiest train station in the world. And Shibuya is the home of the famous Scramble Crossing and the statue of Hachiko, a very famous and well-loved dog whose story was adapted into an American film in 2009. Other iconic landmarks in Tokyo include Tokyo Tower, which used to be the tallest structure until it was surpassed by the Skytree, and Rainbow Bridge, which connects to Odaiba and is named for the multicolored lights that illuminate it at night. There are many, many more attractions to list in Tokyo, which we don't have time to cover here. Suffice it to say, you could spend weeks in Tokyo alone and never run out of things to do. To the southwest, you'll find the other half of the Golden Route, the Kansai region. This is where you'll find another former capital, Kyoto, as well as the cities of Osaka and Kobe. This is also the location of the 3rd international airport, Kansai International Airport, in Osaka. The heart of tradition and culture in Japan, Kyoto is renowned for its old-world atmosphere and charm. It's chock full of famous temples, gardens, and traditional wooden houses. These are a handful of the iconic landmarks, beginning with Kiyomizu-dera, the Temple of Pure Water Springs, which is perched on top of a small mountain. It's easily recognized by the wooden viewing deck, which is supported by a huge lattice framework. Fushimi Inari Taisha is one of the many shrines dedicated to the Shinto deity of foxes, agriculture, and prosperity. It's marked with approximately 10,000 red torii gates leading up to it, which you may remember seeing in the movie Memoirs of a Geisha. Arashiyama Bamboo Grove is one of Kyoto's most photographed sites, where you can stroll down the path surrounded by the tall bamboo stalks. The path connects to a temple, a shrine, and a villa where you can take in the view of Kyoto and enjoy tea with a Japanese suite. Osaka is about a 2.5-hour ride from Tokyo on the Shinkansen bullet train, and a great place to park yourself while you explore the Kansai region. It's a more laid-back city compared to Tokyo, with lots of great food, shopping, and nightlife. One of Osaka's iconic locations is the Dotonbori Entertainment District, which runs along a canal and is lined with illuminated signboards. A short jump from Osaka is the city of Nara, a former capital before it was moved to Kyoto. Nara is filled with UNESCO temples, shrines, and ruins, but it's probably best known for the deer that roam the grounds, looking for handouts of special deer crackers that are sold everywhere. Kobe is, of course, internationally recognized for Kobe beef, but it's also a beautiful port city within easy day trip distance of Osaka. It was one of the first ports to open for international trade, and consequently has a unique history and distinct architecture. Hiroshima and Nagasaki will forever be known as the sites of nuclear attack during World War II, and many people visit Hiroshima's atomic bomb dome and the peace memorials in both cities. Beyond these historically significant locations, both of these vibrant cities have a great deal to offer. Formerly belonging to a feudal lord, Shukkeien Garden is a perfect escape from the bustle of the city. The 400-year-old property is lined with paths and bridges, which are perfect for a quiet stroll. You can buy fish food at the entrance to the garden and watch the koi in the ponds flock to you as you feed them. A short ferry ride from the mainland, Miyajima is home to a very iconic landmark, a huge torii gate floating in the water, which is the entrance to Itsukushima Shrine. The shrine itself is one of the most photographed places in Japan and attracts visitors from around the world. Nagasaki is a city unlike any other. As the only port open during Japan's isolation period, it developed into a unique multinational melting pot, fusing customs, culture, and architecture from Europe and China with Japan. Here you will find a Chinese lantern festival alongside European gardens and a Japanese JNTO shrine, all linked together by a convenient tram network. Two indigenous groups which have been melded into Japan lie at the outer extremities of the country, the Ainu people in the north and the former Ryukyu Kingdom in the south. With distinctive cultures, languages, and traditions, these areas are utterly unique in Japan. Up in the northernmost part of Japan is the island of Hokkaido, home to the indigenous Ainu people. On the same latitude as the southernmost tip of Russia, this rugged island gets a lot of snow and is a popular destination for skiing and snowboarding. Hokkaido is also famous for having excellent seafood, and they are especially well known for the huge king crabs. Transportation is sparse outside of the cities, so many people opt to drive when they explore this area in depth. The main city in Hokkaido is Sapporo, which you may recognize as the birthplace of Sapporo beer. Sapporo is also famous for the annual Sapporo Snow Festival, which is held in February. During the festival, hundreds of snow and ice sculptures line Odori Park, some of which are huge, impressive masterpieces the size of buildings. A 30-minute train ride from Sapporo is the charming port town of Otaru, with stately stone buildings and a romantic canal lined with gas lamps. Here you can visit local art galleries and craft stores, or take an evening cruise along the canal. In the southernmost tip of Japan are the string of subtropical islands that make up Okinawa, part of the former Ryukyu Kingdom and the birthplace of karate. Okinawa is full of beaches, coral reefs, and jungles, which make it a big draw for water sports and outdoor adventure. It's a great place to relax on the beach, enjoy scuba diving, or go kayaking through the mangrove forests along the coast. Traditional architecture in Okinawa is completely different from the rest of Japan. Houses with red roof tiles are surrounded with stone walls built to withstand typhoons and guarded by statues of Shisa, guardian beasts meant to ward off evil spirits. Rather than the well-known kimono worn on the main islands, Okinawans wear ryuso, loose and brightly patterned outfits more suited to the subtropical climate. Summer in Japan is the time for fireworks and festivals, which spring up all across the country. Visitors stroll between the stalls in cotton yukata, playing the various games and enjoying the many food offerings. The Awa Odori Festival in Tokushima is one of the most famous events in Japan and draws over 1 million people to watch or participate. Every evening for 4 days in August, the whole city takes on a very festive atmosphere, and the main streets are blocked off for dance groups in colorful outfits. There is also a museum open year-round, where you can learn about the dance and watch a live performance. Up in Tohoku's Aomori City, the Aomori Nebuta Festival involves massive papier-mâché floats of mythical and historical figures, paraded through the city streets, accompanied by large groups of taiko drummers, flutes, and dancers, and the whole thing ends with a huge fireworks display. While the festival itself is held in August, there is a museum called Nebuta no Ie Warase, dedicated to the Nebuta Festival, where you can get a taste of the festivities at any time of the year. Getting off the beaten path can be highly rewarding and lead to the discovery of hidden gems you would otherwise never see. 2.5 hours from Tokyo, you'll find Kanazawa, a historical castle town with an abundance of restored residences and districts. Similar to Kyoto, it has its fair share of shrines and temples, as well as its own tea house districts, where you can attend exclusive geisha performances. The restored Kanazawa Castle is near Kenrokuen, one of the 3 great gardens of Japan, noted for its beauty in all seasons. Kanazawa is also renowned as an artisan town, with a large population of craftsmen specializing in silk dyeing, painted ceramics, lacquerware, and of course, Kanazawa's iconic gold leaf. Down in Kyushu, Beppu Onsen is a group of 8 hot springs, each offering different therapeutic waters. More than 10% of all the hot spring vents in Japan are in Beppu City, and the various waters are meant to be beneficial for a range of different ailments, ranging anywhere from fatigue to diabetes. There is also hot spring cooking, where the food is steamed in the mineral-rich hot spring water, which is supposed to bring out the true flavors of the food and is, of course, very healthy. There are places where you can buy plates of meat, vegetables, and other dishes and steam them yourself with the help of a volunteer. Thanks for watching. You'll find this and other information at www.japan.travel/en/ca. We can't wait to welcome you to Japan.